We are live and exclusive from Suncorp Stadium here in sunny Brisbane for this round 4 A-League fixture, the Queensland Roar at home to the Melbourne Victory. Well, a good crowd building up, plenty of colour in. They've been away for a while, the Roar. They won their first fixture here, the historic fixture against the Knights 2-0. Today they get a visit from the Melbourne Victory, and with me in commentary is Graham Arnold. Everything to play for, Graham. We've got coaches under pressure, we've got players under pressure. Queensland in the middle, but surprisingly, Victory prop up the table.
Already pressure on all coaches after round 4, what a call that is. But this promises to be a real exciting game. You've got two teams who play a similar brand of football, two teams with exciting, pacey strikers, a hard-working midfield, a lot of pressure on the defence, but overall this should be a wonderful game to watch.
And I wonder what role the crowd will play as the extra man for the Roar. It was terrific stuff in that opening round. They'll remember that as we watch them file into Suncorp, and they'll be lifted as soon as that whistle goes.
For sure, Neil, and I think that, you know, being back at home after a couple of games away will be great for the Queensland Roar. They've got a young side, they enthuse from the crowd, gets them going, and it should be wonderful to watch here today.
Of course, what a pivotal couple of matches it will be at home to Melbourne. Then they get a visit from Sydney FC. It could really shape the Roar season, and I'm sure some of the fans know that as well.
Especially with a short season, only 24 games, there's no time to miss. It's so important that you keep going and get off to a good start. Melbourne Victory haven't had the best start so far this season, only 2 points. Even though they've had 3 games away, this is their 3rd game away out of 4 games. They'll be looking for a positive result here today.
Teams arrive now onto Suncorp Stadium. Some great flyers in both teams. We know how Mirren Bleiberg likes to send his troops out. They will attack down both flanks through the middle. Victory, of course, with just the 2 points, maybe a little more cautious. It should be a match that opens up pretty early.
Well, Melbourne Victory, even though they're away from home, they'll never change their style. With Archie Thompson and Daniel Allsop up front, they've got 2 experienced goal scorers. They've got creative midfielders. Steve Pantelides will hold the midfield in front of the back 4, and they've got a heap of experience at the back in Kevin Muscat and Jeffrey Clace.
Okay, the players doing their obligatory handshakes. Here is the Raw lineup. Willis in goal, Dodd, Gibson, McLaughlin and Spaso Delevsky at left back. 3-man midfield, Murdoka and Mackay wide. Huksu Siao in the middle. Richter, Baird and Brosk across the front line for the Queensland Roar. And the visitors in town, the Melbourne Victory, Michael Theoklitos in goal, Carl Recchia, Adrian Layer, Jeff Clace and Kevin Muscat in an unchanged back 4. Kits Bickler wide on the right, Ferrante in the middle with Pantelides. Andy Vlahos comes back from injury, Christian Sarkis goes back to the bench, and Danny Allsop returns from an ankle injury to partner Archie Thompson up front. Michael Theoklitos, well, he'll be hoping for something better than that 10-second wake-up call he got in Adelaide last Friday night, Graham.
Well, let's hope the Melbourne Victory has switched on right from the kickoff. Let's remember that last week they conceded after 10 seconds, and Michael Theoklitos had no chance picking that one out the back of the net.
And Tom Willis back in the starting lineup for the Roar. A little bit mystifying that he was left out. Of course, over in Perth, Scotty Higgins getting the role, but he's been good, Willis. Only 21, back in the action today.
He's a very competent keeper, a very good keeper on the line, and I think that had something to do with the reason he didn't play against Perth. Scott Higgins is a tall goalkeeper and knew that Perth would play an aerial game with Brian Dean.
Ben Williams is the referee in charge of this one. The crowd has built up nicely. The surface is magnificent, so there won't be too many excuses for either side if they are beaten here today. Jason Power and Paul Eldridge are the referee's assistants running the lines. So we are all ready for this round 4 fixture in the Hyundai A-League. Queensland Roar in their traditional home colour of orange. The Melbourne Victory in the A-League away colour of white, running from right to left. As I say, the surface in good order, and it will be interesting, Graham, to see who settles best, particularly in midfield.
Well, there we saw Queensland try and cap Melbourne Victory napping again, but as you said, Neil, great battle in the middle of midfield here.
Chance there for Vlahos. There's Kits Bickler doing a little circle. Queensland try to get it away to safety. It's picked up by Murdoka, who lays off for Carl Dodd. So he can go on a gallop, the big man from right back. Pass to Richter fell short. Now Ferrante, who wins the throw-in for the victory. Now Baird trying to work with Richter. Only as far as Clace, who sends it down into the Raw's half. Former captain of the West Ham reserves, Michael Ferrante. Of course, he has a FA Cup youth medal for all that wonderful time he had at the Hammers in England. Now Murdocha for the Raw. Here's Matt Mackay central. Joining in Dalewski. Pass a little too long, but plenty of sunlight on that side of the ground, Graham.
One thing on that side of the field, Neil, Spastalewski playing on the left-hand side is all right foot. They may lack a little bit of balance there. You'll see Matty Mackay keep drifting inside, and when Spastalewski does have the ball at the back, you'll see Alex Brosk push out in a wide position up front.
Now, good touch from Michael Baird, who shakes off two defenders and wins the free kick. Good, Williams might have let that go, but Seau plays on quickly. Now Murdocha for Dodd. Sloppy from Baird. Gives it back to the victory. Andy Vlahos. Nice touch from Clace as Baird come flying in. Again, the foul goes the Raw's way. Allsop on Carl Dodd, who takes off quickly in the direction of Brosk. Working back was Adrian Leia. So a little unsure of their passing early, the victory. Here's Pantelides. Now Carl Recchia. Whose pass is never going to find Archie Thompson. Baird for the Raw, challenged by Ferrante, who wins it in the end. Now Melbourne can mount a challenge through Muscat. Thompson and Dalewski. Now Recchia. Gets it back, he's in a nice position. Carl Recchia, ball through for Archie Thompson. And eventually the Raw get it to safety. The chant goes up from the home fans, trying to apply some pressure on the Melbourne victory. Muscat, shut down by Richter. Here's Vlahos. Ball into Allsop's feet. Working back was Carl Dodd. Now loose ball for Baird. Here's Murdocha, one of, if not the smallest player in the A-League. And he works hard, the little man, to win it. Huksu Seau joins in. Allowed to run a long way. Here's Brosk. Alex Brosk. Well, he measured the shot, looking for the top corner, but the deflection put paid to that.
Already know we see off camera a small tactical change there from Queensland Raw, with Michael Baird dropping in behind the front two of Alex Brosk and John T. Richter, with Brosk playing more central.
Here is Alex Brosk. One of the reasons Queensland have more shots on goal than any other team in the Hyundai A-League, but for all their huffing and puffing, not too many have gone in. Fans will be hoping for something like the goal that broke open the match against the Knights. Ball in now from Dalevsky. And for the moment, the Victory can take a breather.
Interestingly, though, when Victory get the ball at the back, they really push 4 men forward. Andy Vlahos and Kitzbichler going right up the side, Daniel Allsop and Archie Thompson to pin the Queensland Raw players right back.
Now here's Vlahos. Chip over the top from Muscat. And the ball in from Vlahos only found Matt Mackay for the Raw, who just asked a little too much of Jonty Richter. Steve Pantelides, a little bit of room. Ball in from Kitzbichler to Vlahos was nice, who continues the trend of Muscat. Here's Thompson dropping off. Again, the Raw number up. They give it straight back. Clays goes way over the top, and the orange part of this crowd, which is pretty overwhelming, come up as one.
Pretty hopeful effort there from Jeffrey Clays, getting the ball wide on the left-hand side, attempted cross, but well high.
Now good header down from Baird to Richter. It's Brosk! Well, it was promising, but not a lot on the shot, and easy pickings for Theoklitos.
Good long ball there. You see a good challenge there from Michael Baird with Jonty Richter running off him. Unfortunately for Brosk, the ball just bounced a little bit too high, and he couldn't get more power onto it.
Now referee Ben Williams has blown the whistle here in favour of the Victory. Of course, no Christian Sarkis, the regular dead ball specialist. He's been demoted to the bench by Ernie Merrick. So as we thought, now pre-game show, Graham, it's Kitzbichler and Ferrante. Vlahos is there as well. It's Vlahos. And it's well wide. Up goes Murdocha. 4 for Kitzbichler. Here's Recchia. Now Dalevsky for Queensland. Brosk. Siao. Murdocha. Good pressure from Melbourne. Breaks down though with a nudge in the back of Carl Dodd, who plays on quickly for Chad Gibson. Went for the return from Baird. Didn't happen. Plenty of turnovers in the middle of the park. Now the Victory's turn. And Vlahos' square ball gives it back to the Raw.
What a great tempo start in this game here. Plenty of movement off the ball at a fast pace with a high intensity. Just a little bit more composure needed for the final ball.
Mackay brought down. Plenty of bad blood in the build-up to this one. Mackay, of course, involved in a challenge by Jeffrey Clace a couple of months back that almost saw him miss the start of the Hyundai A-League. As we see, getting through was Alex Brosk. And under pressure, Adrian Leia, the 19-year-old defender, who may have just dodged a spear there.
Beautiful flick there from Michael Baird to Alex Brosk. And to Broski's credit, he didn't go down for a penalty.
Now Jeffrey Clace, diagonal ball for Thompson, who's found some room. He can run at the raw defence. They come back swiftly, still Thompson. Comes now to Muscat, in towards Allsop. The header was looking for Vlahos, but away by Carl Dodd. It's a poor ball from Gibson. And Muscat trying to release Vlahos, who does get the foul. Does he? No, he doesn't. I can't quite believe the whistle didn't go. Dolevsky and Rekia. Big clash there. Now Brosk. Michael Baird. Nice little ball from Mackay. But charging in was Rekia. Here's Murdoka. And too much on that for Dolevsky. Ferrante for the victory. Plenty of attack down this left-hand side, particularly with Vlahos on. Here's Allsop running off Thompson. Back for Vlahos. Kits Bickler. The flag up on the veteran Austrian, who does find the back of the net. You shouldn't be wasting those because the flag was up early.
Wonderful movement there from Melbourne Victory, keeping the ball moving. First touch football. Lovely ball in here to Ferrante. Vlahos, sorry, plays the ball. As you see there, Neil, Kits Bickler not offside. He's kept onside. Bad decision there.
They won't forget that one, the victory, as it goes down the other end. And here is Spaso Dolevsky for the Raw. Ball inside. Baird! Never got that right.
What end-to-end entertainment this is. A great run there from Spas Dolevsky down the left-hand side. Not on his favoured foot.
Fortress Suncorp is what Miriam Bleiberg wants this venue to become. Certainly keep playing the attacking football they've put on right from the first whistle in the A-League. It might just become that. Here's Matt Mackay in the middle for Madoka. Richter. He cuts inside for a nice bit of room. Here's Mackay. Bending away all the time from Matt Mackay, and another wake-up call for the victory.
Wonderful strike there from Matty Mackay. Good run by Jonty Richter. Rolls the ball square to Matty Mackay on his favourite left foot and just hits it wide.
Fourth shot on goal from the Raw, as opposed to the victories too. What a test this is of both defences. Now Pantelides. There was a foul, second earlier on Jeffrey Clace. There's a little word of advice for Jonty Richter.
It's a good test for Jonty today, up against the experience of Jeffrey Clace and also directly against Kevin Muscat, a player with a lot of experience. Muscat, the hard man in Australian football, up against a young kid in Jonty Richter. Should be a great clash.
Chances at both ends as we arrive at the 15-minute mark here at Suncorp. And Baird in hard on Clace, who's pulled up from that. He might be in some trouble, Jeffrey Clace. Seems to be running a little more freely now, but just for a moment, the victory bench might have liked what they saw. Now he's asked to turn and chase here, Clays. He's got Richter behind him. He does the job. Siao. Mackay. Here's Gibson. Melbourne retreat. Murdocha. Mackay's looking for Baird. And a late challenge, perhaps here on Massimo Murdocha. And it is Jeffrey Clays being pulled out, who might be going through a frustrating period here.
He seems to be quite worried about his right knee, the clash that he had with Jonty Richter. It looks like he just wanted to slow the play down a bit there and give himself a little bit of time to recover.
So Melbourne set the wall. Alex Bross looks the most likely. Although Chad Gibson quite often fancies himself from the dead ball. It's Alex Bross into the wall. He gets a second bite. It'll fall for Richter. Baird's through, but Theoklitos came out. The flag stayed down. And there is a yellow card in the direction here of Michael Baird, I believe.
Yes, Neil, I think there was more of a clumsy challenge than any intent on that at all. You see Kevin Muscat there before the free kick was taken, dropped back onto the back post, which kept Jonty Richter onside, headed the ball back across the face, and Michael Theoklitos comes out and receives the ball.
Yes, to be fair, not much he really could have done, Michael Baird. He tried to pull up a little bit, but Theoklitos was right down at his feet. So it's a very pensive Ernie Merrick and Gary Cole on the victory bench. Pantelides slips past Mackay. Now Recchia cuts back in. In fact, it was Kits Bickler who gave it to Ferrante. Here's Muscat. Clays. In hard was Baird, but Clay stood his ground nicely and found a bit of territory. Now Carl Recchia. All inside, it comes now to Allsop. The idea wasn't bad. It was Vlahos who made the little run, but just the delivery let the victory down.
Problem at the moment for the Melbourne Victory is in midfield. Queensland Roar outnumbering them from 4-3 in the middle of the park. Kits Bickler staying out wide on the right-hand side, playing with a man short in there.
Now the Roar go long. Leia tried to hold possession with the chest, but he gave it back to the Roar. Now room here for Delevsky. Starting at left fullback in this game. He lays it off for Brosk, who took a wide position. It's Brosk looking for Richter, who got the header wrong, but it's picked up again by Brosk. And the corner given.
And the pace of the Queensland Roar strikers at the moment, giving Melbourne Victory all sorts at the back, getting in behind them, getting some decent crosses in. And unfortunately for them there, Jonty Richter was off target with his header.
Corner is short for Murdocha. Mass Murdocha charging out was Ferrante. Good turn and run from Thompson. Now Clays will find Vlahos. In for Thompson, just nipping in was Gibson. He can pick his man now, and he asked Michael Baird to go on a run. Baird for the Roar. And he gets it back. Oh, he almost did, but the flag was already up.
Here we see a good run there from Michael Baird. Was it a little handball there from Steve Pantelides, but Baird runs offside.
So Melbourne have had most of the possession, but it's Queensland Raw who are mounting the shots on the Victory's goal. Team in white comes forward again. Thompson. He certainly looks sharper than he did in Adelaide last Friday night.
Drifting off the back line, getting plenty of ball, but I've been hugely impressed again of the performance of Siao, the Korean, in the middle of the park there for Queensland.
Well, wide on the park, here's Murdocha working with Richter. Baird. Gibson to Dalevsky. So good width from the Raw. Here's Matt Mackay. Slipping over in the box for a moment was Pantelides, and just for a moment it might have set up for Brosk. %62% time defending Melbourne, so they're under the gun here at Suncorp. Now Dalevsky, you just keep it in. Carl Recchia, though, does the job. The challenge from Siao earns a whistle against him from Ben Williams. He has copped a knock here, the Korean.
There you see a challenge there between Siao and Pantelides. Both of them going in with their eye on the ball, and just more of a clumsy clash, both on their knees. But overall, Neil, what a great start to the game, entertaining game. Both teams going at each other, plenty of attack, plenty of good pace with the ball, a lot of individual quality. This promises to be a fine, fine game.
Yes, and you can see from that time defending that Melbourne really under pressure around their own box. They have had plenty of the ball, but for the better part it's been either in their own half or certainly in the middle third. So Siao back on his feet, but treatment also for Pantelides, as everyone takes a bit of a break here at Suncorp. Some instructions coming from both benches.
Question for the Melbourne Victory side definitely will be, as we see Ernie Merrick down there on the sideline, Miriam Bleiberg will be extremely happy with his forces at the moment, talking to his team, saying how can we shut this Queensland Raw side down in the midfield? How can we stop the movement of the ball across the park and them getting in behind us?
Now Carl Dodd for Queensland. And it'll go for a goal kick. Seven shots to 2 for the Raw. Still nothing where it counts at the moment. It has been something of a trend for this highly entertaining team. Now Kevin Muscat, the Melbourne captain.
In front of him.
Now Thompson. Little ball looking for Vlahos, but there's plenty of Raw shirts around. So a tough start for Jeffrey Clays, the former Belgian international, 3 times capped for Belgium. He'll have to do some defending here as another free kick goes the Raw's way. Mackay plays on quickly. Here's Gibson. Muscat tight on Richter. Carl Dodd, pressured by Thompson. Nice little ball out from Siao, but Richter makes a little mess of the header. Challengers flying in. Richter's on the deck. Bleiberg's off his seat. And a yellow card has been produced against Jeffrey Clace.
Here we see the challenge here. See how the beautiful back heel. You see Jeffrey Clace coming in there, putting his shoulder in the lightweight Jonty Richter and sent him flying.
What a tough start it's been for Clace in the referee's book. As Melbourne contemplate a change, Richter is on his feet. Plenty of press in the lead-up from Bleiberg that the victory might put something physical on his side. Maybe we're just seeing one or two signs of that now. It looks like the victory are going to make a change. Daniel Pierikowski warming up. And it's Carl Recchia who has an early assignment here at Suncorp. So Pierikowski on for Recchia in the 28th minute as the Raw launch it forward.
Daniel Pierikowski, or just a straight swap there for Carl Recchia. Come onto the right side, right fullback. Adds a little bit more pace, a little bit more physical presence over there on Alex Brosk.
Great passing, engineered by Siao. He takes over from Murdocha. Pass was short there, though. Thompson might get it. Good skill, Archie Thompson. Looking for Vlahos, but Carl Dodd came in hard, but just a little too hard, says Ben Williams. So not for the first time, Muscat can swing in a free kick from this sort of position. Header from Gibson. Allows Murdocha to charge out. That'll fall for Brosk. He's got the new man Pierikowski in front of him. Mackay joins in. Back to Alex Brosk. The challenge flew in from Leia and Muscat. Still Queensland. Mackay back to Dolevsky. Square for Richter. And it breaks down now. Ferrante for Melbourne. It's a great looking ball, but the whistle has gone. It's Kitts Bickler on the charge, and the somewhat dubious offside ruling where the lone player in question has to touch the ball, I believe, before the flag came up.
Wiseman had his flag up quickly there. Quick break there from Queensland Raw. Once again getting in behind the Melbourne Victory defence. Melbourne Victory have to work out a way how to control the midfield of the Queensland Raw.
Now Richter. Carl Dodd. Richter can turn. Baird, he goes for the return, Richter. And the crowd rises. Clay stood his ground. Richter hit the deck. And has a few words to his own keeper. Now Siao gets it wrong there, but covering was Josh McLaughlin. Ball into the feet of Allsop. He hasn't got much room to work in. In the end, the Raw simply win through numbers. Again, they break in space with speed. Murdocha. Richter. And just too heavy from Jonty Richter. See out for the Roar. Still no score in the 32nd minute here at Suncorp. Now room for Murdocha. The player shunned by Melbourne. Joined up with Blyberg at the Queensland Roar. Here's another player that the Victory didn't want. Dalewski. Now it might fall for Matt Mackay. Was there a hand? Brosk! Well, it was like a pinball just for the moment. And Michael Theoklitos delighted to finally pick up the ball.
Once again, the movement there from Queensland Roar. The ball falls to Matty Mackay. Alex Bross tries in one finish, block there from Adrian Leia. Theoklitos is a relieved man.
So chances again for Alex Brosk. Here is Bross, who sends it off for Richter. Plenty of room, Jonty Richter. Fleet of foot, still Richter. And the shot down the throat of the Melbourne keeper once more. Allsop's ball looking for Vlahos, but Queensland doing their job at the back. Murdocha. Here's Brosk. Richter for Dodd. Again, Richter can size it up. He's looking for Carl Dodd, but Muscat in the road. Allsop picks it up for Melbourne. And brought down by Richter.
From behind fouling. I said, Carl, Alex!
And here Kevin Muscat calling for a card, and maybe he's got a point, Graham.
Maybe he has got a point. He saw a foul there from Jonty Richter on Daniel Allsop from behind. Maybe a bit of frustration there from Jonty Richter after he gave the ball easily away. Melbourne Victory's problems are coming. There we see again the foul. Melbourne Victory's problems are coming, Neil. At times, Queensland Roar have got the one up front with the other two dropping back in the midfield, and Melbourne Victory is standing at the back with 4v1. And they're getting outnumbered and picked off in the middle of the park.
It's a professional foul from Richter on Allsop, but the card stayed in the pocket of referee Ben Williams. So Clace looks for Thompson. Oh, he's savaged by McClogan. And again, some of these players out here sailing close to the breeze as far as Mr. Williams, the man with the whistle, goes.
That's for sure. A few of them living on the knife's edge. Dangerous time here, though, for Queensland. Melbourne Victory are very strong on set pieces in the air.
Now, Kitzbichler goes deep. At the back was Clace. Adrian Leia it was, who was one step further than Jeffrey Clace. The tall timber was lining up.
Good delivery there in there from Kitzbichler. As you see, it beats everyone on the back post with Jeffrey Clace.
Now bad for Queensland. End-to-end stuff. Melbourne take over. Kitzbichler, the Austrian flyer. He's dispossessed, only as far as Pantelides. Now Pirakowski. He looks for Allsop. Cut out by McLaughlin. Only as far as Vlahos. Thompson's made the run. It's Thompson for Melbourne. And what a save, Tommy Willis.
What a wonderful save there by Tommy Willis. Melbourne victory on the counter. What a great run, though, by Archie Thompson. A wonderful reflex save there from Tommy Willis.
What form he's been in, the first choice goalkeeper here at the Roar. He sat out, of course, in Perth last week. Scotty Higgins took over. The very tall Scott Higgins. But Willis back on deck. Here's Vlahos. That one sails harmlessly by. Now Kits Bickler, who's been very busy early. Ball in is put away by Siao momentarily. Pantelides will pick up the loose ball, but he's running into trouble. In the end, got out of jail with a little nudge from Michael Baird. So another chance for the victory from the dead ball. Kits Bickler's free kick. They jump. Leia was up. Clace tries to swing it back. But a real chance now for Queensland to counter. Here goes Madoka. Good work, Vlahos, who put him off. Challenge is flying in. It is very willing in the middle. Kits Bickler for Thompson. Here's Pirakowski. Now Ferrante. Well read by Gibson, who calls on his troops to charge out. Clace looks for Vlahos. Decent ball in. It's Kits Bickler! Saved by the post, the Queensland Roar.
Great ball in there from Andy Vlahos. Great technique by Kits Bickler, and unluckily for him, he hits a post.
What a break for the Roar, and we've got a send-off. Referee Ben Williams has marched Matt Mackay, who shakes his head. Well, the challenges have been flying in, and Matthew Mackay, you look at him, you think he wouldn't harm a mouse, has received a red card.
Is that a payback for the pre-season game when Matty Mackay copped a horrendous tackle from the Melbourne victory and put him out for 5 or 6 games? Totally against the character there of Matty Mackay.
There it was, the second challenge on Pantelides.
First time there you see Matty Mackay going in there on Michael Ferrante in desperation. Matty Mackay gets up and he lunges at Steve Pantelides with 2 feet. And we could say, Neil, the intent was there.
The intent was there. He was horrendously late. My only concern is he's been marched off. There has been tackles flying in late on several occasions. And I just wonder about the consistent or inconsistent trend of referee Ben Williams. 15th foul in the match. You do get the feeling that this brief but intense rivalry, as we look at the fouls, 9 against the Roar, 6 against the Victory.
Last week, Neil, we saw Melbourne Victory up against Adelaide, who only had 10 men. Will they have the key to the door today to unlock a 10-man Queensland Roar?
Yes, a cruel twist in some ways for the Roar. Adelaide had a man set off and Melbourne could not break them down. They now have the same task against 10-man Queensland. You get the feeling the Victory will be howled all the way back to Victoria if they can't put this advantage on. The corner comes in, they jump! Big header from the 19-year-old Adrian Leia, skewed off wide.
It's one danger there for the Queensland Roar is the aerial power of Melbourne Victory off set pieces. So a good ball in there from Andy Vlahos. Adrian Layer on the back post getting up well, but unfortunately for him just wide.
What a test of the attacking faith of Mirren Bleiberg with 10 men. Now there's a tough challenge from Michael Baird. On Pantelides, who's in the wars out there.
Michael Baird needs to be careful. He's already had a yellow card earlier on. They're already down to 10 men. They don't need another one sent off.
Now Pantelides, you can see the room all of a sudden in front of the Melbourne midfielders. Baird and Madoka already deeper. Bross seemingly the lone man up front. And it might be a high boot now against Alex Brosk around the head of Adrian Layer.
Queensland Roar can easily change their structure here, Neil. They can go 3 at the back because Melbourne Victory have got the 2 up front and push Spustelewski into the midfield.
The crowd vent their anger. Most of them thought Brosk had won the ball, but he's done something silly and now he goes into the book.
The youngsters of the Queensland Roar need to control their emotion. They can't afford to do anything more stupid. Trying to suck them into doing something stupid. Here we see Alex Bross closing in Daniel Piakowski. That's probably more for the first foul that he did before that as well. It's 2 fouls in 1 minute there from Alex Bross.
Docker was looking for Baird. He gets a second bite of the cherry. If Melbourne pick up the loose ball, here's Allsop. Muscat. Clace goes long in the direction of Vlahos, who's giving away a bit of height against Stalevski. All of a sudden, space around Suncorp. Ferrante. Short for Vlahos. Muscat cuts back inside Richter. Short for Thompson. The working double in defence is the Queensland Roar. And 4 minutes. Signal there of injury time, so plenty of action still to come in this first half. No goals, with action in both goal boxes. Most importantly, the Roar down to 10 men. Matt Mackay. Straight red card for a challenge on Steve Pantelides. Now Clace. Ball in the direction, but Tommy Willis put the brakes on nicely at the top of his box. Muscat goes for the return from Vlahos. Biscuits cross. Thompson is there. The header from Kits Bickler is safe for Tom Willis.
Melbourne Victory with the extra man really need to spread the Queensland Roar players as far as possible in the defence. Need to keep their width. Like to see Andy Vlahos really hug this sideline on the left-hand side. Kits Bickler the right-hand side. That'll open up room for Thompson and Allsop through the middle.
Now Ferrante looks for Thompson, who just miscued his pass, and a foul given against Archie Thompson. Vidoka. Big Josh McLaughlin on a run for the Roar, but ball beats him over the line. So 2 minutes down of 4 extra minutes put on by the fourth official. Third match of round 4 in the Hyundai A-League, the first of a big live doubleheader on Fox Sports, the Jets and the Knights to come out of Newcastle later on. But for the moment, the tension is there for all to see around Suncorp. No goals yet, but the Roar might be happy just to get to half-time and reassess things with Mackay having been sent off.
Go, Michael.
Now Pirikowski. Allsop. Thompson's ventured out wide. Running through is Kits Bickler. Inside, well, the ball across. What a waste that was. Allsop was sitting there right in front of the Roar goal.
That's much better. Melbourne Victory breaking wide there. Kits Bickler picking up the ball early. Archie Thompson making an arc run from the middle out wide. Kits Bickler overlapping and getting the ball through the middle. Unfortunately, the cross was a little bit too hard for Daniel Allsop.
Now Adrian Layer might be in some strife. He gets called back by Williams and is headed for the book. So 4 players in the referee's book.
There you see Adrian Layer on Alex Brosk. Alex Brosk getting the wrong side of Adrian Layer. Now Adrian Layer had no choice but to bring him down.
2 for the Roar, 2 for Melbourne. They've overstepped the line as the Roar try and find a late chance here. Here's Siao. They run out of time. Ben Williams brings a halt to a dramatic first half of football in the Hyundai A-League. Matt Mackay marched off for the Queensland Roar. They are down to 10 men. Both sides troop off for a well-earned break. It's half-time. Queensland Roar 0, the Melbourne Victory 0. We have seen some drama here at Suncorp Stadium. 4 players in the book, including Michael Baird, down at the head of Michael Theoklitos, the victory keeper. But most importantly, Matt Mackay, the Queensland Roar midfielder, sent off by referee Ben Williams. No goals at the break as we look at some of the numbers from that first half. Melbourne had the possession. A lot of that time, though, was spent defending, as we see time in opposition half does go Melbourne's way. Only 3 corners in the match, only 3 offsides, but look at the fouls. 20 fouls, 12 against the Roar, 8 against the Victory. We've seen some personal challenges and some real battles right across the park, and 4 players on yellow cards and 1 player a red card. Matt Mackay sent off in the 40th minute, reducing the Roar to 10 men. Okay, let's have a look now at all the highlights from the first half. And Graham Arnold, the flair from the Queensland Roar midfield right from the off. 14th minute, what a blast, Mackay.
Well, we've seen that all first half, haven't we, Neil? The movement and the mobility of Queensland Roar's midfield. We see here John T. Richter makes a good run, plays the ball inside. Matty Mackay, the first time strike and just wide.
They never die wondering, the Queensland Roar. They gave as good as they got. And the challenges. Jeffrey Clace was under a lot of pressure from the little guys. He flew in there, one of 4 players to be on a yellow card.
Well, we have seen some tough tackles here. Here we see Ciao with a lovely back heel. And it's a monster against the jockey. He comes in there and gives Jonty Richter one the lightweight.
Yes, maybe he wasn't too impressed with the hairstyle, the mohawk of Jonty Richter. Certainly let him know. Melbourne victory. They went to the dead ball a lot and tried to get the big men up from the back.
Great ball in there from Michael Ferrante, and you see Adrian Layer and Jeffrey Clace get right round the back post. The movement round the back post was very good. You see Clace here very deep with Layer. Ball goes over Tommy Willis's head, and from there Clace should have just worried about getting the ball back in play.
A little uncertain there, Tommy Willis, but he had another good half of football. 37th minute. The run made by Thompson. Great save, the Raw keeper.
A beautiful run there by Archie Thompson. A wonderful save there by Tommy Willis, who probably didn't know too much about it, just tried to make himself big.
The natural wide players, Vlahos and Kitzbichler, were heavily involved in the first half. The Austrian Kitzbichler, he floats into the middle after another good victory build up from the long ball and went oh so close.
Lovely ball there, long ball there from Clace to Andy Vlahos. First time in, and Kitzbichler, a first time shot from 20 metres. Unluckily, he hit the post.
Yes, they've switched it around. They've got plenty out of their front men, but the Queensland Roar, to their credit, the defence have really stood up and battled.
Well, they have hung on, haven't they? And they've been concerned with the mobility of the Queensland Roar. Now Melbourne victory with the extra man. They really have to go on to another level, make the field as big as possible, keep the ball moving and get the ball in the box.
That was in the 39th minute. This in the 40th minute. There wasn't much doing, and you'll see Matt Mackay just lose his head. Not the first time, but the second one right there on Pantelides.
Well, the first time you see him go in there, totally against Matty Mackay's nature, the little boy. He goes in here in a 50-50 challenge here with Michael Ferrante, gets up, a 2-footed tackle at Steve Pantelides, and I feel the referee's made a good decision there.
Matt Mackay, he shook his head all the way to the touchline. The Raw fans here couldn't quite believe it. You'd expect that. And from that point on, there was all sorts of challenges and tension on both benches.
Well, the young boys from Queensland are getting involved in the niggle from the Melbourne victory. They need to just keep their composure and keep doing what they're good at, and that's playing the ball and keep the ball moving.
Let's have a look now at the attack stats from the first half, and the Raw 10 shots to 8. I'll be pretty impressed with that, but balls into the penalty area just reflects, I guess, those shots. 24 times in both boxes. The Raw slightly have it. Shots on target. Theoklitos has been busy. 7 from the Raw, 1 from the victory, and there you have it. The saves 4 times from the Melbourne keeper and just once from Tommy Willis, who was forced into a great save off the shot from Archie Thompson. The fans are expecting a real challenging second 45 minutes. We'll take this break and come back for the second half from Suncorp. The challengers have flown in here at Suncorp Stadium. Hyundai A-League Round 4 fixture. Richter's challenge on Denny Allsop, one of the battles right across this park. No goals at half-time, but Queensland Raw down to 10 men with the sending off of Matt Mackay. It would have been a pensive Raw dressing room. Let's find out more from the Queensland Raw assistant coach, John Syme, who is with Graham Arnold.
Well, John, how did you see the red card?
I couldn't really, from where I was sitting, I really didn't get a good view. I'll look at it hopefully tomorrow on the video, and it certainly changed obviously the outlook of the game, that's for sure.
Will Queensland be adapting to the send-off at all?
We made a change. We brought in Warren Moon. We've taken off Jonty Richter. We'll just play 3 in the middle and 4 in the middle and 2 up front.
Felt that the mobility of your midfield and your pace up front was giving Melbourne victory a few problems there in the first half.
Yeah, I think it was. I agree. And but our final decision-making at times was poor. Our midfield created a fair bit of ball, but our final decision-making was poor.
Now that Melbourne have the 11 men against 10, you're fearful of breaking forward a lot now?
Well, look, we'll still be going forward and still be looking to win the game. Probably catch them a little bit on the break, but it's always difficult to play against 10, and hopefully we can just keep the momentum going.
Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you.
So a 3-4-2 formation for the Queensland Raw. Numerically down a player, of course, after the Matt Mackay send-off. They'll debate that long and hard. long after this round is completed. One thing the Raw fans know is that their side has plenty of endeavour. It will be interesting just to see how much the Queensland Raw press. Let's not forget the pressure, though, on the Victory. They had 75 minutes at a 10-man Adelaide at Hindmarsh Stadium last Friday night and couldn't find the key there to getting something from that match. So the pressure will be right on Melbourne for different reasons. Of course, the Melbourne Victory still to find their first win in the Hyundai A-League. They prop up the table, but the way the results are chopping and changing, any sort of win can elevate you a few places up the ladder. As Queensland Raw file back out onto the park. We heard John Syme talk of a 3-4-2. Well, you can be sure that Alex Brosk will be one of the two up front. Again, he's had chances, just hasn't converted yet. So maybe already some intention from the Queensland Raw. Back out onto Suncorp, well ahead of the Victory. And there is Warren Moon, who scored the lone goal in Perth that wasn't good enough for the Raw to get any points. But he comes on for Jonty Richter, who spent plenty of time on the deck in some physical battles with Kevin Muscat in that first half. And he will take up a position in this restructured midfield. Penny for the Raw's thoughts. You can see big Carl Dodd giving plenty as the Victory discuss what they've got to do. This could be a turning point in their season. The 11 of the Victory against the 10 of Queensland. Big Carl Dodd points to the Raw badge. It's all about the mates in the trenches, as they say, as the Victory arrive back onto Suncorp in front of a healthy crowd. I doubt whether it's up near the region of the opening one against the New Zealand Knights, but a healthy crowd by the same token as we look at Vince Leah, who's about to take the park in place of Richard Kitzbichler. So a change from Ernie Merrick. The World Cup youth player Vince Leah, who came on and played centrally against Adelaide last week. Traditionally a wide player on the right, and you feel he'll take up that position, which is where Kitzbichler did most of his work in that first half. So play about to get underway in this second half here at Suncorp. The whistle goes from Williams and an early touch for Vince Leah. Here is Leah. He switches play all the way across for Jeffrey Clays. Now Muscat. Pantelides. Thompson makes himself available. Muscat runs on. Here's Vlahos. Pierkowski. Ferrante. Now the ball inside from Muscat was looking for Vlahos, but again the delivery, the final delivery, lets the Victory down. But Graham, Vince Leah given his chance, plenty of faith shown by Ernie Merrick, and the running is over for the Austrian Kitzbichler.
Well, you'll probably see Vince Leah up here on the right-hand side against Bustaleski. Vince Leah is extremely good in the back post in the air. You look for him to get him late in the box.
Now Thompson for his partner Allsop. And the challenge was good from Chad Gibson. Pantelides, the shot was blocked. Just for a moment, I thought Vlahos was filing in on the top right-hand corner.
You see a good ball. Shot by Andy Vlahos, but well defended by Chad Gibson.
Now the corner, they jump up. Is it? Oh, it's just wide from Jeffrey Clays.
A lovely ball in from Andy Vlahos. You see the flick on here by Adrian Layer with Jeffrey Clays getting around the back post, just not being able to control his header.
They have had their chances at the back stick, Melbourne, and now the flag is up on Denny Allsop. McLaughlin. New man Warren Moon asks a lot of Michael Baird, but he wins the free kick against Piakowski. Play on quickly. I'm not sure Baird was quite ready for it, but he's batted in here and falls foul again of Ben Williams. Layer wants a card. I don't think he'll get it.
That's something Neil Miron Blyberg will have to be careful about. Is Michael Baird, he's an emotional player. He's already had a yellow card. He needs to be careful.
Now Thompson for Melbourne. Here's Pantelides. They probe. Vlahos across was looking for Thompson, but it was easy for Madoka. Working now with Carl Dodd. They do it nicely. Like a couple of chess players picking their way out of defence. Layoff then was nice from Alex Bross for Warren Moon.
Already, Neil, you can see a change in the structure from the Melbourne Victory, who've gone with three at the back. Piakowski and Jeffrey Class picking up, with Adrian Laird playing as more of a sweeper, with Kevin Muscat pushing on the left side of midfield.
Now high boot from Brosk on Pantelides, but for once in this battle, they leave a friendly duo. Plenty of room now. Look at the territory for Melbourne. Muscat. Here's Thompson. He was shut down by McLaughlin, who did a good job. Quick release. Looking for Baird. Layer does the job. Here's Pirakowski. Inside now for Vince Leah, who lofts it into the box. Coming through is Vlahos. And he may have done better with the shot.
It's much better there from Melbourne Victory. A good ball in there from Piakowski to Andy Vlahos's favourite left foot. And unfortunately for him, he just pulled it wide.
Now Muscat as the Victory mount another challenge. Ferrante. Thompson's on his bike, cut out by McLaughlin. Only as far as Vlahos. Now Muscat. Second chance for Ferrante. So some instructions from Blyberg for his midfield spoke in this wheel. Poor old Michael Baird, he's charged around the park. It's been a tough day at the office. And but you get the feeling, Graham, the pressure on Melbourne, on Ernie Merrick, will continue to build for as long as Queensland can hang on.
That's for sure, Neil. I think that they need to keep their width, though. You see Kevin Muscat is a right footer playing on the left-hand side. He'll naturally keep coming back inside with the ball. I'd like to see Vlahos in front of him out wide.
Now Adrian Leia for the victory. Cross to Clays. Here's Vlahos. Muscat. Pantelides. Now Vince Leah, who just tried to dink it over Dolevsky, but he wins the corner. The victory now holding a 4-1 majority in corners. Good looking corner, but good hands from Willis, who releases Hook Su Siao. Brosk is on his bike, and working back hard was Adrian Leia. Crowd don't like it, but play goes on. Here's Moon. Siao back for Moon. Nice ball for Murdoka. They've got 3-on-3 Queensland. Murdoka. Well, they shut him down just enough to take the pace off the shot. This is end-to-end stuff. There is territory all around Suncorp as Melbourne come forward. Vlahos. Square now, Pantelides. Thought about the shot. Here's Thompson. Muscat. And that is a waste. And Muscat knows it.
See the ball here with Kevin Muscat out on the left-hand side. He drags the ball back inside. I think he was looking more for Vince Lee, getting in behind Spaso Dolevsky on this right-hand side for the Melbourne victory.
Now Thompson. He's had a stack of touches in this match. Now Vlahos. Muscat. Vlahos. Raw trying to maintain their shape. Pantelides. Leah swings in the cross. Willis lines it up and makes sure of it. Baird putting the pressure on Adrian Leia as we reach the 56th minute. Possession going Melbourne's way, 58%. And you would expect that with this numerical advantage after the send-off of Mackay. Flag up against the victory.
Melbourne victory once again trying to go through the middle there with Archie Thompson making a good run off the ball, but just being caught offside. One thing will have to be certain, O'Neill, is Michael Baird and Alex Brosk will keep the back three of Melbourne victory honest. They'll always be looking to try and get the ball in behind with their pace.
Now Thompson. Ferrante's continued the run. Challenge came in from McLaughlin. Still Ferrante. Cross is looking over the back there for Vlahos. They're not safe yet, the Raw. Here's Vlahos. Chipping in was Leah. And a better touch, and he might have had something, but Dolevsky can bring it out for the Raw. Now Moon, long ball in the direction of Alex Brosk. We'll have to wait for support. Brosk joining in Murdoka. He cuts back inside Mass Madoka. Warren Moon. Back to Madoka. Brosk. And it breaks down. Brosk drops the shoulder in. Just for a moment there seemed to be a whistle, but play goes on. Here's Gibson. Room for Madoka. Dalevsky. Inside Gibson, lays off. Madoka. Still they knock on the door. Warren Moon. Looking for Baird. Cut out Pirakowski. Back they go. Start again. McLaughlin. Baird wasn't looking there. Gave it up easily to Leia. Good work from Carl Dodd. Great turn, Madoka. Great play to release Dodd. The crowd comes up. Little run made by Brosk, but Dodd couldn't find him. So they test this victory defence.
What a wonderful start to the second half, Neil. End-to-end action. The midfield is about 100 kilometres long. Doesn't seem like there is one.
Ferrante, Allsop, first time shot, took a deflection. We will go to the corner.
Question is, how long can Queensland Roar keep up this intensity with only 10 men with a field so big?
Now Vlahos swings it in. At the back is Muscat, who did well, but alive and ready again was Tom Willis. Now Moon. And Brosk has dropped his man. Alex Brosk has beaten the keeper. He's taken the ball away from goal. Brosk looks for his man. He lines it up. Madoka!
Unlucky there by Massimo Madoka. Alex Brosk, who made a great run, lays the ball back to Madoka and his shot went wide. Maybe Alex Brosk would have been better off there the first chance, Neil, trying to dink it over top of Theoklitos as he was coming out.
Yes, that final touch just put him in two minds. But they are giving as good as they get, the Roar. Now Dalevsky. Good ball finds Madoka.
Michael, ball is here, come here. If the ball is here, come here.
Warren Moon has had plenty of touches. Here he is again. Back to Dalevsky. Gibson was looking for Alex Brosk, but he wasn't too interested. Now Vlahos gallops onto the pass from Muscat. In it comes! And Thompson with the touch. But the Roar hang on.
That's so much better from Melbourne Victory, with Andy Vlahos making that run in front of Kevin Muscat on an angle, gets a good ball into the box, and Archie Thompson unluckily on the first post.
Now Brosk is away, the ball comes over. Baird! What a strike, Michael Baird! First time with 10 men, and Suncorp is alive.
What a magnificent strike by Michael Baird. He didn't think about it for 1 second. First time left foot into the far corner after a wonderful ball in there from Alex Brosk. Here you see Brosk running at Jeffrey Clace. Michael Baird peeling off in behind Daniel Pikowski. And a wonderful left foot volley into the far post.
The season candidate from Michael Baird, his second of this inaugural Hyundai A-League season, and what a beauty. Now Melbourne, if the pressure wasn't already climbing, it is steepling. Have a one-man advantage after the sending off of Matt Mackay in the first half, but now find themselves a goal down in the 63rd minute. They will cheer every challenge, every pass, every crack on goal from the men in orange. Leah, deep cross, but catching practice for Tom Willis. Pierkowski for Melbourne. Ferrante on a gallop. Michael Ferrante. Willis hangs on at the second attempt.
Good run there from Michael Ferrante, taking players on, and a good strike, but well held there by Tommy Willis.
Shots in the match so far, and possession favouring Melbourne, 57 to 43, but that matters little at the moment. The Raw have their noses in front with 10 men. Dalewski inside for Baird. Clace does the job, and the through ball is nice now for Leah. May have been better off taking a touch and looking up. It chose otherwise.
Question now for Melbourne Victories, where are they going to get the creativity from, or who's going to have the key to unlock the door here? They struggled last week against 10 men with Adelaide with it, and so far they're struggling today.
Another corner for Melbourne. They jump in the box, and Denny Alsop wasn't far away.
And that's been the main threat from Victory all day. Good ball in there from Vlahos. Daniel Alsop making good run into the first post, but just not being able to get over his header and control it.
Muscat popping up in the centre circle, looking for Thompson. Shadowed by Moon. Thompson tries some trickery. Still Archie Thompson. And he will be booked for diving, which sends Suncorp up and incents his teammates in the victory.
Well, Neil, I've seen worse than these given before. Good run here by Archie Thompson. For me, that's 100% penalty.
He may have some explaining to do, Ben Williams, after that, because Thompson looked to have clearly beaten his man and brought down and then booked for diving. Does Melbourne make a change? The 18-year-old Christian Saki is about to enter the fray at the expense of Andy Vlahos.
You see Christian Saki's here going in behind the front two of Alsop and Archie Thompson. He's a youngster, a creative player, and he's got a wonderful set piece on him.
But just maybe it won't be Melbourne's day. Thompson has covered plenty of miles, got into some good positions, and now finds himself, amazingly, in the referee's book. Here's Sakis. Short for Leah, goes for the return. Cross not good. They give it straight back to Leah. Ferrante. Sliding in was Gibson. And away goes Baird. And joining in is Madoka. He scoots past Baird. Now he has it Madoka. And was he brought down? Williams says yes. Crowd of 15,444 here at Suncorp are off their seats. The two number twos go at it, Dodd and Muscat.
That's wonderful passion shown there from the Queensland Roar. 1 minute they're defending on their own box. Chad Gibson with a wonderful intercept. Played the ball out to Michael Baird, and Massimo Madoka, Neil, made a run probably 6 yards out from his own goal. A 70-metre run to get him behind there. And Adrian Leah, mistimed tackle, brought him down.
What a motor he's got, Mass Madoka, one of the smallest players in the competition.
This so far, Neil, has just been an absolute cracker of a game. Probably one of the best games I've seen this year. The intensity and the passion has been first class from all players. The football's been outstanding. It's been a real thrill to watch and be here.
So a round table conference over there near the Raw bench as the fans give Madoka a cheer. Goes to the sideline. He'll wait to come back into the fray. Just under 15,500 here at Suncorp. The Raw with 10 men have the lead. And away by Clays for a corner. So more pressure for Melbourne in the 70th minute.
It's where Queensland need to try and soak up a little bit of time. Take their time. Get their set pieces organised. Try and wind up the clock a little bit.
Warren Moon goes short. Madoka waits for Moon. He tries a shot that was never going to be a problem for Theoklitos. And another change coming from Blyberg. Royce Brownlee comes in to take the place of Alex Brosk. So Graham, a bit of intention here again from Blyberg.
Bit of a surprise for me, unless Alex has got something wrong with him. He's always a threat up front. Michael Baird is living on the knife's edge there on a yellow card. I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd taken him off instead. But Royce Brownlee will add that work rate to the Queensland side and at least give them an outlet with holding the ball up.
Sakis for Melbourne. Jeffrey Clays. Ferrante. Sakis. Siao wanted a handball, didn't come. Now Allsop drops off. And getting in amongst them are the Raw. Throw in the way of Queensland.
Once again, Neil, their Melbourne Victory trying to go through the middle. Queensland Raw have got 9 players who width of the box defensively. They need to try and get on the outside of them and get some crosses in.
Pirakowski for Melbourne. Thompson. He looks for Allsop. He'll try and turn his man. Sticking to him like glue was Chad Gibson. Here's Sarkis. Pirakowski, Allsop. And just wide.
And that's much better from Melbourne Victory. Daniel Allsop, stay there, son. That's where you belong, in the middle of the box. Wait for the crosses to come in. Don't need to work the line in width. Just stay there and be a physical presence. There you see a good ball in there from Pirakowski. And Daniel Allsop winning the header, but just wide.
"29 shots in the match, 16 away of Melbourne. On target, the Roar 8, the Victory just 5. Now Pantelides, route one down the middle looking for Allsop, cut out by Dodd. Here's Madoka, Siao. Crowd in good voice here. Just under 20 minutes. Their beloved Raw have to hang on to this 1-0 lead. That's easy for Dalevsky. Here's Moon. And Brownlee has beaten the defence, but not the flag.
So Queensland in the last 15 minutes don't get sucked into dropping back into their own half, close to their own goal, and invite Melbourne onto them. So they do that, they'll be asking for trouble.
Now a little problem here for Chad Gibson as Bleiberg up. Have grown in stature, these Queensland defencemen. Just a short time the Hyundai A-League has been going. Ferrante. Great defending Siao. He gives it to Baird, who was looking the other way, but he may get it back. Second best thing, he wins the throw-in. Now Pantelides. Thompson. Pace of Archie. Was the touch too heavy? He still has it. Gives it to Sarkis. Blocked by Siao. Now Ferrante was cut down by Gibson. And the whistle's out. Another booking coming, this time for the Queensland skipper. So 3 yellow cards each, 6 in all. Of course, 1 red card to Queensland's Matt Mackay.
This is where Christian Sarkis can come into his own in early. Loves this range. This is his specialty.
Sarkis, the dead ball specialist. Up and over.
Well, I've put the mock on him, haven't I?
I thought he did look a long way out, but he's a young player full of belief.
Neil, the more I see Siao played, the Korean central midfielder from Queensland, the more I like him. Very, very clever player. Every time you see Chad Gibson venture off into midfield, venture a little bit forward, see how it fits in for him, fills the gap as a sweeper. He breaks everything down. He's such a calming influence out there for them.
It is a key player when you look at the job Costanzo does for Adelaide, even Noel Spencer for the Mariners and Uksu Siao for the Roar. And that controlling role at the back of midfield. And the G goes up for Theoklitos.
How good's this crowd been as well, Neil? They've known their players are down to 10 men for quite a while now. The enthusiasm and the encouragement the Queensland Roar supporters are showing is really giving them the edge on.
Yes, we spoke about the extra man, so to speak. It might just be coming to the surface now. Here's Melbourne trying to work it out of their back third. Ball again from Siao, cushioned for Murdoka. Great skill, Mass Murdoka. Carl Dodd for Baird, who's got white shirts all around him, but comes out of it with a free kick.
There we see Michael Baird holding the ball off, trying to be strong there. Daniel Pukowski. Steve Pantelides coming in from behind and giving the foul away.
So Theoklitos waits. Gibson or Moon. It's Gibson! Not far away from the Raw skipper.
A good strike there from Chad Gibson, maybe a little bit far out, but bent it up and over the wall and just over the crossbar.
Back come Melbourne, Ferrante. Piakowski. Sarkis. Now Leah inside, that's a very poor ball. Tommy Willis can even take it on the chest.
Victory have 5 or 6 players just standing in front of the ball, standing in front of the box. Here we go with Kevin Muscat with an intercept here, Neil.
So Muscat cuts it back, looking for Thompson, but cut out by Uksu Siao once again. Foul by Clace on Murdoka as we reach the 81st minute.
All those Melbourne Victory supporters at home in Melbourne must be wondering why they never signed Massimo Murdoka. What a game he's had. He's been extremely motivated here. He's had a wonderful game.
And another change coming from Blyberg, another defence man. The Lismore-born Todd Gavin comes on for the goal scorer Michael Baird, who gets a rousing send-off.
And fully deserved, Neil. He's been outstanding. His work rate first class. Scored a wonderful goal. He's been a real handful for the Melbourne Victory defence the whole 70 minutes, 80 minutes he's on the field.
Now Vince Leah. So Melbourne try and find a way through. Ferrante, Piakowski, Sarkis, Thompson, lays it off. General direction that never really found its man. It allows Royce Brownlee to pick up the dregs here. Gets it back from Murdoka. Well, he dwelt on it too long, Brownlee, when the runs were coming through from midfield. Delevsky. Here's the new men, Todd Gava. Flag up on Brownlee.
Structurally, Neil, Merrin Blyberg has changed with Todd Gava coming on to left back. He's pushed Delevsky in the middle of the park, where he'll probably sit in there with against Pantelides and Sarkis to close the space down on the Melbourne Victory players.
Now Thompson on Dodd. Back for Muscat, who can measure his cross. It's deep, and again, it's average to be kind.
See Archie Thompson making heaps of runs out towards the corner flag. When he does turn and give it back to someone, he's not in the box, Neil, where he needs to be. Archie, try and stay central with Daniel Alsop. Let someone else get the ball to you.
That was the criticism against Adelaide. They didn't respond in the right attacking fashion against 10 men. And perhaps we're seeing more of the same again from the Victory. They've got 7 minutes plus a little bit of stoppage time to do something about it. But here's Todd Gather for the Roar. Brownlee looks up, tried a little bender. Delevsky is just a shot that soaks up a few extra seconds.
And why not Spusser? And that's the reason he's such a wonderful asset to the Queensland Roar. He can play left back, he can play right back, you play him in the middle of the park, and you'll always get the same quality out of him.
Of course, another player shunned by Ernie Merrick and found a new home at the Roar after leaving Tottenham after a very brief stint in the UK. That will be a long way from his mind at the moment as the Roar cling on to this 1-0 advantage. Thompson flattened by McLaughlin. Seventeenth foul by the Roar as they try and number up here from the Sarkis free kick. They climb a glancing header again from Pirakowski this time.
Ball in here from Christian Sarkis. Pirakowski getting up above everyone, but no direction towards the goal. And overall, Neil, that's probably been the major threat for the Melbourne Victory all day. It's off corners, set pieces, not in general play.
Yes, as you said, that passing combination up front, when to stay, when to make the runs, again, not working for the Victory. Thompson now looking for Leah. First time Vince Leah. Just had the wrong bend on it.
Good effort there from Vince Leah. Getting in behind Gava. Good ball there from Archie Thompson. First time shot there from Vince Leah. Just wide.
Time ticking down on the Victory, and if there were questions asked after the loss to Adelaide, the critics will be lining up with poison pens after this one if they can't find something in the dying moments. They're at the wrong end of the park. Here's Brownlee for Queensland, who's tangling with Jeffrey Clays. And Madoka back for Dodd. Brownlee uses his body well. Here's Madoka. Well, Muscat threw a challenge in there on Madoka, who sprawled on the turf. Players waved on. Pirakowski inside for Sarkis. And is that retaliation? Play goes on. Well, Dulevski came back and seemingly gave the free kick away. Thompson's down in the box. Play on. Leah swings it in. Allsop. And the goal is given. Well, they are fuming, the Queensland Roar. They waited, I think, for a whistle and then perhaps for a flag. And there is a blow-up now between Tommy Willis and Ferrante.
Daniel Allsop getting to where he needs to be. Neil on the back post. Here's a bit ball in from Vince Leah. Daniel Allsop getting in behind Carl Dodd. I think Archie Thompson there could have been claimed for interfering with play.
Well, that might have put the passive offside to test. If you're coming back in that position, I cannot see how Archie Thompson wasn't in some way interfering with the play.
Well, he had to get out the way of the ball, Neil, so you'd nearly say he was.
So we're back at 1-1. The home fans are seething. Queensland have got to pick themselves up here and protect what they have as we reach the 89th minute. Allsop's first goal in the Hyundai A-League.
Neil, that's what we were talking about for 30, 35 minutes for Daniel Allsop to stay central. He doesn't need to do the legwork. He's the goal scorer in the side with Archie Thompson. Let the guys out wide get the delivery in the box. Bide your time, wait your time. You've got the extra man.
Now Queensland trying to clean up at the back. Here's Dodd looking for Murdoka. Leiberg frustrated. But Murdoka's away. Goes for the return. Right across here is Todd Gava. And straight down Theoklitos' throat. Dodd just nips in front of Thompson. Could cut the air with a knife around Suncorp. Melbourne try to hunt down a winner. 91st minute. Now Allsop. So time ticking down on this match. Ferrante for Melbourne. Leah. Ferrante probing away the victory. 3 minutes of stoppage time. We've completed one. Here's Pirakowski. Ferrante. Now Muscat. Dinks it inside. Thompson was on the heels. That allows Carl Dodd to bring it out for Queensland. Anywhere to safety for the moment. Back comes Clays. Into the box is way too deep for Leah, who in trying to turn foul Todd Gava. Another chance for Melbourne. Jeffrey Clays goes long. Back there is Gibson. Only as far as Allsop. Final minute of play. And a late challenge came in from Leah. He will blow it up. Ben Williams. Now can either team pluck something out of the fire? Dying seconds at Suncorp. Queensland with 10 men audaciously took the lead through Baird, but Allsop squared it up for the victory. Now a foot in from Warren Moon, who was fouled by Ferrante. Time almost up. There'll be plenty of talk after the match about the Allsop goal. Melbourne will shout they had a penalty on Thompson, who remarkably was booked for diving. 6 yellow cards, 1 red card to Matt Mackay in the match. Gibson goes towards Brownlee, who tries to turn Royce Brownlee. And Muscat back to do the job. And there is the final whistle from referee Ben Williams. Plenty in this Suncorp crowd of nearly 15,500 are not too happy with the goal to Denny Allsop, which gives Melbourne a point. Still they can't find a victory. Melbourne victory. It has finished here at Suncorp. Queensland Roar 1, the Melbourne victory 1. And Graham Arnold, what a performance from the Roar, down to 10 men. They never lose their endeavour. They never lose their faith.
Aaron Blokeberg would be ecstatic with the way his players stuck to their task at over 10 men for around 60 minutes. The football that they played was fantastic. The Queensland crowd come out in force, truly enjoyed the game, but Melbourne victory still have a lot to work on.
They'll talk about it plenty after the match. Sea Hour was great. Let's have a look at what is coming up. Stay with us. Newcastle Jets at home to the New Zealand Knights, live from Energy Australia Stadium on Fox Sports 2. Plenty more to look forward to. On behalf of Graham Arnold and all the Fox Sports crew, I'm Neil Evans. It is goodbye from Suncorp.